Today we are using systems of equations to solve real-life applications. In this first day, our systems applications are very, very easy as long as you follow these 4 steps. So step 1 says that we need to read the problem. So in our first example, it says Vivian and Tanya went to the store on Saturday. Vivian bought 3 bags of hot Cheetos and 1 bag of Takis for $9. Tanya bought 4 bags of hot Cheetos and 2 bags of Takis for $15. How much did each bag of hot Cheetos and each bag of Takis cost? Step 2, what are they looking for? Define the variables. So if we go to the question, it says how much did each bag of hot Cheetos and each bag of Takis cost? So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the letter H to represent hot Cheetos. And I'm going to use the letter T to represent Takis. So that's what it means by define your variables. So now we end up with writing our 2 equations. Both variables have to be in both equations. So if we look back here, it says 3 bags of hot Cheetos, okay? 3 bags of hot Cheetos plus. Then it says 1 bag of Takis, so plus 1 bag of Takis equals $9. Then the next sentence, Tanya bought 4 bags of hot Cheetos and 2 bags of Takis, and that costs $15. So now that you have 2 equations, you can type this into the calculator and you are going to end up with the answer. So go ahead and type that in the calculator. So go to Menu, Algebra, Systems of Equations, and then type those in. Instead of XY, you can change your variables to HT. So when you type it in, you can use the letter H for hot Cheetos and the letter T for Takis. So if you do it correctly in your calculator, it's going to tell you 1.5, comma, 4.5. So that is technically our answer. However, whenever we have a real life example, we want to make sure that our answer is written in real words. So it said that the first letter was H, so I'm going to put an H there, and the second letter was T. So now as a phrase, we're going to say that we spent $1.50, which is the same as 1.5. So it was $1.50 for each bag of hot Cheetos, and it was $4.50 for each bag of Takis. So that is my final answer. So I defined my variables, H and T. Then I created my 2 equations. Then I typed it in the calculator, and I ended up with my answer, 1.5, 4.5, and I wrote it in words. It was $1.50 for the hot Cheetos, and it was $4.50 for the Takis. So let's look at one more example together, then you can try a few on your own. Example 2 says, Victor and Jonathan went to the corner store. Victor bought 4 Red Bulls and 2 Sprites for $20. Jonathan bought 5 Red Bulls and 1 Sprite for $19. How much did each Red Bull and each Sprite cost? So step 1, we read the problem. What are we looking for? Define our variables. So the variables will always be in your question. The question says Red Bulls. So I'm going to use the letter R to represent Red Bulls. And then Sprite. I'll use the letter S to represent Sprites. So next step, it says, write 2 equations, okay? My equations come from the sentence, 4 Red Bulls and 2 Sprites equals $20. 5 Red Bulls and 1 Sprite equals $19. Easy. So now that you have 2 equations with 2 unknowns, we can type this in the calculator and get our answer. So if you type this in, go to Menu, Algebra, Systems of Equations. You can change your letters to RS, so that way you can type it in exactly as you see it. So when you type it in, you're going to end up with 3, 4. So 3 comma 4 is great, but that doesn't tell us what the answer is. How much did each Red Bull and each Sprite cost? So Red Bulls came first, so 3 is for Red Bulls. Sprites came second, so the 4 is referring to the Sprites. So now we write it in words. It costs $3 for Red Bull, and it costs $4 for each Sprite. So easy. So I call this type Hot Cheetos and Takis because we're literally listing as if we're grocery shopping. We get this, and it's $20. We get this, and it's $19. Okay, so let's take a look at these examples on the second page. It says write 2 equations and find the solutions. So first, always read. 2 records and 3 tapes cost $31. 3 records and 2 tapes cost $29. Find the cost of each record and tape. So I always want for you to define your variable. A variable is a letter, so you are defining it. You're telling me what that letter is. R is for record, and T is for tape. Now that I know the 2 letters you're going to use, you can write your equation. So you get your equation from reading the sentence. 2 records plus 3 tapes is $31. 3 records and 2 tapes costs $29. So go ahead and write 2 equations based on those sentences. Then you'll type it in the calculator, get your answer, and you'll write your answer in words as well. Let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 says, suppose you've bought supplies for a party. For $30, you buy 3 rolls of streamers and 15 party hats. Later, you spend $11 and bought 2 rolls of streamers and 4 party hats. How much is 1 roll of streamer and 1 party hat? So we first define our variables. In order to do that, it's in the question. What is 1 roll of streamer? So I'll use R for roll. And then how much is a party hat? So I'll use P for party hat. So in this one, it gave us our total in the front, but that's okay. You still write it like normal. 3 rolls of streamers plus 15 party hats costs $30. I want for your money to be in the back, so that way it's easier to type it in. Then it says 2 rolls of streamers and 4 party hats costs $11. Now you can type that in and see what you end up with. In number 3, it's the same type, but in this one it's written in bullet points, which is actually a little bit easier. It says a bus travels 2 different routes, the green route and the blue route. The routes are different lengths. On Monday, the bus traveled the green route 6 times and the blue route 5 times, traveling a total of 52 miles. On Tuesday, the bus traveled the green route 12 times and the blue route 13 times for a total of 119 miles. What is the length of the green route? So we know one variable, G, we'll use for the green route. So if one variable is the green route, the other variable has to be the blue route. So now, just as if you were grocery shopping, you are going to pick up these numbers and write them as you go. So it says 6 times for the green route and 5 times for the blue route is a total of 52. 12 times for the green route and 13 times for the blue route is a total of 119. 2 equations with 2 unknowns. We can now type it into the calculator and get the solution to this system. Now when you get your final answer though, you'll have your numbers and you'll label green route, blue route. We need to make sure we're answering the actual question. The question says, what is the length of the green route? So your answer is only the first number, the G number. We don't even care about this back number once you get it, because the question says, what is the length of the green route? So go ahead and try the same thing for number 4, and then for the back as well.